Mic check, mic check. 1 2 1 2. Hey, there we go. Sorry for the feedback. All right. Again, just gonna give it a couple minutes before I get started. Thank you everybody for who's in here, Raider Nation, everybody that shows up, watches this at a later date. This is Real Talk with Real Men Are Raiders. I am CT Dinero. Welcome, welcome. All are welcome, unless you are a Chiefs, Denver, or Chargers fan. Again, just giving it a couple minutes, see if anybody jumps in. Getting all my stuff situated here. But was that a game? If you even want to call it that. Get started on that. All I got to say is that I'm glad I stuck with my guns and kept giving McDaniels and the whole Garoppolo and everything. I'm glad I stuck by my guns and I really said how I really felt about it. I had a little bit more encouragement after the Denver game, seeing how smart Garoppolo was playing and really seeing, how he was seeing the field and the last play on the fourth down, when he ran for the first and sealed the deal. I really thought he made some smart moves. I really think he did. But yeah, like I said, this is Real Talk, Real Men Are Raiders podcast. I am CT Dinero. We're going to go ahead and get started. And like I was saying before, I had a little bit more encouragement after the Denver game, thinking that we didn't really have to go out and do too much. I know it was Buffalo, and I might have gotten a little bit too excited thinking that we were going to win. But I thought it was going to be a closer game than what it was. It almost reminded me of the Saints game from last year. It just felt like we couldn't do anything, and we didn't have the ball enough to get any kind of momentum going. I said it, and I always say it all the time. The sideline is a defender, and the clock. If you could control the clock, if you could control the sideline, if you can do all those things and use them to your advantage, you can really use them to your advantage. Time of possession is really, really important. Being able to move the chains, being able to hold the ball, your defense, getting the offense off the field, and first off, I'm gonna try to start with the good. I'm gonna try to start with the good from Buffalo. Honestly, when you look at the Denver game, all the penalties and everything that we had, it's a small silver lining, but I think we had 2 or 3 penalties. I think Hobbs had 2 of them. That one in the end zone, I think Diggs was the one pulling on him, but I'm not an NFL referee. So I think that's a good thing. As far as us hurting ourselves. And on the defense, I really got to say Spillane and Kuntz really, really, especially Spillane. If he wasn't there making a tackle, he was in on a tackle, or he wasn't really that far from the ball. I've heard other content creators say that he wasn't good. It's always like that for certain players. If you can get them in the right scheme, maybe where they weren't being used right, and maybe he just had a good game. But yeah, I think he had a really good game. I think he had 13 or 14 tackles, and I felt like he was everywhere. And as good as he was playing, as good as Kuntz was playing, I think even if we had Chandler Jones, I still think Kuntz would have gotten more production. I kind of see a little upside to him as long as he keeps getting playing time and keeps trying to show out like he is and keeps doing good. He has the power for it. I think he just has to get his vision right. Maybe work on things that are unique to him. He has a lot of bend. He can like really dip down and get around the corner like Khalil Mack. So I think he has a lot of upside. I think he just has to learn how to use his weapons right. And those were, probably the only good things I can really get from the game. As far as offense, that first drive was good. Um, I've been saying it. I've been saying it, and I'm gonna keep saying it. Garoppolo cannot get the ball down the field, no matter what you try to tell me. He's Everybody talks about his winning percentage, but I mean, you look at his winning percentage and look at the numbers, compared to other quarterbacks that have been in the league just as long as him. The amount of games played is it's a big difference. So yeah, he has a higher winning percentage, but he hasn't played a lot because he's always hurt. So everybody's like, when he's out there, he wins. Yeah, when he's out there and he has a good defense and he has a good run game, and everybody says his bread and butter is a play action. Like, I agree, he does really good on the play action, but at the same time, I said it on Protect the Shields podcast, and I was with Raider Rundown, and we were all talking, and I said it before a couple times. I said it before the Bills game. If we don't start stretching the field, then we are not going to be able to move the ball. We're not going to be able to move the ball. Like, Jimmy Garoppolo does not have the arm to get it down the field like Carr. He can't make those like those long bombs, and he gets the ball down the field, but if you notice, Trey Tucker had to stop and come back for that one, and if he would have got it down there a little bit farther, he would have hit him like right on the money, So I don't think he can either get the ball down the field and leave it up to the wide receiver to catch it, or he can make a short to medium accurate pass. So it's like that's kind of like how I feel about Garoppolo. And without a run game, without us being able to stretch the field, Buffalo showed it. They're gonna play the run, and as long as we can't run the ball, we're not gonna be able to move the ball. And our defense was out there way too much. We could talk about all the holds on Max Crosby all we want. We could talk about all the woulda, coulda, shoulda penalties and flags and everything like that. But in the long run, it's it's up to us. Like, football is the most team sport that there is. Like, there's the offense, the defense, everything. Everybody has to play their part. So when we have one person lacking or someone ain't doing it, or and it all starts at the top. How McDaniels tried saying that we didn't finish in all three aspects of the game. Well, yeah, I mean, it starts with him. I thought the play calling was we're trying to force Adams the ball way too much. I don't think Adams should have been in the game that late in the game, as far down as we were. Like, the way we were moving the ball and how much time was left, we weren't gonna make a comeback. I don't think. And that's just me. This is my opinion. I don't think he should have been in the game that late. Like, either Garoppolo, neither. Like, not saying, like, you give up on it, but you got to be smart with it too. You got to know when to take your players out. You got to see the way the offense was running. Like, as soon as Jacobs came out of the game, like, White just started moving the ball. Like, on one carry, he got more than Jacobs. Jacobs negative rushing yards for the first time in his career. Like, you guys cannot tell me that it could be a little bit of rust. It could be a little bit of him not being there and maybe not being like familiar with everything. But in the first half, I thought the offensive line was doing a good job at protecting Jimmy and making a couple holes. What I thought were holes, but they just kept stopping the run. They kept stopping the run, and if if we can't start stretching the ball down the field, I honestly don't think it was even worth it to even get Jacobs back. Like all everybody's gonna do week after week is just play the run, and they're gonna challenge Garoppolo to try to get the ball down the field, and really like make him do make him do something he doesn't want to do or he might not be comfortable with. So I mean, it was just a bad game. It was such a bad game. Like the way we started off was good, but that's been our problem under McDaniels is finishing in the fourth quarter. Like finishing at all. Just holding the lead, um, really using the clock, really using smart plays. Like I said, I felt like we were forcing Adams the ball way too much. Um, our tight ends, I don't feel like we're using them. Renfro, I don't feel like we use them like we should have. You know, um, I don't know. I can't get behind everybody saying that Josh McDaniels is still this offensive genius. Like it takes a team and everybody to execute everything, but still at the same time, like if if he is who everybody says he is and who's been backing him up this whole time, then he should find a way to keep it close, if not finish out some of these games. And Buffalo's a way better team than us, but still, like we didn't have the ball at all. Like the defense couldn't get off the field. Max was a ghost. You know, he can't do everything by himself, and yeah, he was getting howled left and right, but the defense, we've been saying it, for years. Our defense sucks. You know, we don't have the best corners. We don't have the best safeties. Our linebackers ain't the best. We have no real defensive tackle. Like I don't know. Tyree Wilson is not looking like a really good draft pick right now with that pick that we had. You know, especially when we got Kuntz producing the way he is. Like probably should have just gave him another chance. Maybe looked at free agency and took him a Jalen Carter, or put in investment into the nose of our defensive line. Like our defense can't get off the field, and we can't stop the run, and we can't cover tight ends, and we can't cover the middle of the field, and we can't stop the quarterback from going out the pocket. Like I saw a lot of good in the Denver game. I saw a lot of good smart plays that the defense made, and the cornerbacks. I saw a lot of good plays, even though everything wasn't perfect. But still, at the same time, it's man, we can't keep expecting to win, knowing that the team is where it's at. You know, like expecting a winning season. I didn't really expect a winning season under McDaniel's again. I was giving us the benefit of doubt, saying that we're going to win like about 9, 10 games, but I thought it was going to be better than this. I really thought it was going to be better than this. I mean, I thought us getting rid of Alex Bars was a mistake. People disagreed with me on that. He started for the offensive line all year last year, and I remember watching a lot of games back and seeing him really do good and on his blocks or his cuts, or he was where he needed to be all the time. He was another player that did his job. So I saw a lot of good out of him, and even if he wasn't the best player, like I said, he did his job. And as far as looking towards like what we got to do to get ready for Pittsburgh, I don't even really even think we need to talk about Pittsburgh. I think we need to just figure out what's going on with the team. Now we got Adams in concussion protocol. I'm not too sure what's up on that. I haven't really been keeping up on the news on Adams, but I don't think Jacoby Myers is coming back. for this game. So it's just the Raiders keep doing Raider things. They keep we're our own worst enemy. We really are, from drafting to free agency to changing our head coaches every 2 3 years. Like, I mean, you look at Garoppolo, what he had in San Francisco, like that coaching staff and everybody, like they've been together for a while. They know how each other works. They know what each other likes to do. They know what they're looking for in players that they're trying to bring to their team. The Raiders, it's just every other few years, it's just like a different head coach. Oh, okay, now it's a different scheme. Okay, well, now let's learn this scheme. 2 3 years, we got the scheme under control. Nope, losing season, new head coach. Like, it gets old. It really does. It really does get old. And I don't think I knew Jimmy Garoppolo wasn't what McDaniels wanted, and he's not the long term answer. He's not. You know, Brady wouldn't have been a long term answer. Rodgers wouldn't have been a long term answer. Carr. I have my own opinions on that. I'm not saying he was the best quarterback, but he did a lot to show that he was a good quarterback for us. And he's still doing Carr things. He's still throwing those deep balls in the fourth quarter and getting his team in spots to win games. So say what you want about him, but he still does his job as an NFL quarterback. You know, and I don't think the Raiders did right by what they did. I understand how and why they did it, it being a business decision, but that's another topic. That's already that that ship has already sailed. But as far as Pittsburgh, we're not looking at a quarterback that's a Josh Allen. Pickett, he ain't Allen. And he might be able to move around a little bit, but he's still not Josh Allen. So I think if our linebackers play the way they did, Spillane especially, like he was everywhere, and if he gets a little bit of help, if our defensive line figures out what they're doing on the other side of Crosby and stick with it, like give those players like time, like you need in game time, like you need those reps and everything, just like practice. And being in a real game is a lot different, and it's a lot better, So I think Kuntz is only going to get better. Um, Tillery, he's doing okay for us in the middle. I think that's the best we got. So I mean, it is what it is. But I don't really see a lot of help coming from the middle. I don't see a lot of help coming from the other side of Max. Um, the refs don't care about people holding Max. Like, that's obvious. Max has to figure out a way to either bully his way inside or really like make it like super obvious statement. Like, well, even if he makes it super obvious he's being held, I still don't think it's gonna help. But I think we need to play the way we did as far as not getting penalties. Um, I don't blame Hobbs for none of those flags that he got. I really think it was good coverage on him, and it was more Diggs, holding on to him and everything. But we need to start moving the ball around. You know, start hitting our tight ends. Start trying to back up the secondary just a little bit. Create a little bit of room for Josh. Get that run game going. Let Jimmy do the play action. And even if on the outside, even if we get like some curl routes, kind of like a little cross the field slant, like we need to start using the side of the field more and not depending so much on the middle of the field, because with Garoppolo not being able to stretch the field, that's where those streaks are. That's where those go routes are. They're usually on the outside, and we saw him try to make those plays. We saw him try to get it to Tucker. I think he even got it, to Adams once, but you know, he like I said, he's either going to throw it up and depend on the receiver to get it, or he's going to throw it short to medium and be accurate with it. And I even said it on one of the other creators' show one time that I don't like how Jimmy tries to make a play and he'll put his receivers in a bad spot where a defender is just like beelining straight for them, and as soon as they catch the ball, it's like immediate brace. Like you got to immediately brace, or even if you even feel the pressure coming, you know. So I think just like wide receivers have a job to do, and I know it's Jimmy's job to move the ball, but still put you can't put receivers in spots like that, you know, to get hurt. And we need to really start using our tight ends, man. We got two really big ass tight ends, and we don't use them. You know, we haven't used them for anything. I think what Hooper got like 2 catches. So we really got to start playing smarter football, not forcing the ball to Adams. I know he wants to get his numbers probably, but with Garoppolo not being able to stretch the field, it's just I don't really see it happening. You know, I really think we gotta take a different approach. And if Josh Jacobs or Josh McDaniels is the offensive genius that he or people claim him to be, I don't see no reason why he can't get it done with the players that he chose, that he drafted, that he signed in free agency, that everything like that, you know. So you can't say that Jimmy Garoppolo can't pass to Devontae Adams, that Devontae Adams can't make anything happen. But at the same time, if Jimmy would have been able to get that ball a little bit farther when Adams got hurt, that probably would have been a touchdown. It probably would have been a walk-in touchdown because Adams had room to keep going and Adam has the speed to keep going, you know, and he was in front of all three of those defenders. But he had to slow down and turn around to try and catch the ball because Jimmy can't get the ball down the field. So that's how I feel about a nation. Tell me what you guys think in the comments. You know, I really don't think Pittsburgh's anything to really worry about as far as like picking them apart. I think we need to play smart football and just kind of play a little bit better offense than we did in the Denver game, and I think we should be okay. Josh needs to get the ball moving. Josh McDaniels needs to figure out how to get the ball down the field, and hopefully we have one of our starting wide receivers come this Sunday because, yeah, we're gonna need them. We're gonna need them. We don't have no starters as of right now for wide receivers. You know, maybe Renfro. You know, he's starting caliber, but I don't think he's a starter. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. If you guys like it, subscribe. You guys already know what to do. I appreciate it. God bless. I love y'all. Peace.